Hi guys, welcome and welcome back. If this is your first time, thank you so much for stopping by. Thank you for clicking on this video. In this video, we are going to talk about glyphs and how you could use glyphs to kind of spice up your rhinestone templates. Now, if that is something you are interested in, do keep on watching. Okay guys, we are in Silhouette Studios Business Edition. Now, the first thing I want you to do before you even think about starting to design, I want you to go to your character map UWP. Now, if you don't have it on your computer, every computer has a character map, but the one that I want you to focus more on is the character map UWP, and I'm going to show you what that looks like. So it looks like this, and you're going to open it so you can download it on your computer and then upload it. Now, what character map UWP does is that it shows you all the fonts that are listed on your device. And what I like to do when I am going to design is I want to get an idea of which font I want to use. All right, so for example, this font that I have here is called Sweetie Almira Script. So what I could do, they're all alphabetized. Oh my God. They're in alphabetical order. So you could just go through your fonts and see which of these fonts have the nicest glyphs. All right. So that's the first thing you're going to do. Find out which fonts have the nicest glyphs. All right. So for example, this one called Sweetie Almira Script. If I go down and I look at the different characters, you see that it has so many different glyphs. Look at that. The glyphs are beautiful. So these little swirly looking character thingy thing are glyphs. Look at these. These are absolutely beautiful. So if I'm thinking of designing rhinestone designs and incorporate glyphs in it, I would want to look at this font right here, which is Sweetie Almira Script, because I know that there's a lot of glyphs that I could use to get an idea of what I want to design. So let us look at another one. And glyphs, let's look at Lonely Day. Lonely Day. All right, so you see that Lonely Day doesn't have a lot of glyphs. This is all that's there. Okay, so this gives you an idea of what you're going to work with. Now, this one doesn't have a lot of script, even though it's a beautiful font. I've used it multiple times, but it doesn't have a lot of glyphs. Now, let us look at Lovely Valentina Script or Lovely Valentine Script. Yes, now this font will be a perfect example of a font that I could use glyphs. So all these A's with the little swirlies, and this could be used as one. So we have Lovely Valentine, and there you just have to go through your character map UWP and choose fonts that you think would be a good candidate to make your rhinestone templates. Okay, so after you do this, what I want you to do now, family script is also beautiful. What you want to do is go back to your software, and I'm going to type the word love, because we all need more love, and it's just a simple word that we could use. All right, so now we've looked at a few different options. I'm going to first look at family script, because that one has some glyphs, and let's see what I did. I highlighted the word love, and I go over to my right menu bar. You're going to see an A where I'm hovering, an A with a small a. If you're using the upgraded version, you're going to see an A and a small a. If you're using another version, you're going to see a big A and a vertical bar. It's the same thing. All right, so I'm going to click on that, and I'm going to find the font that is called, what did we say? Family script, and I'm gonna press enter. Now this is what family script looks like. Really pretty. And we already established that the fonts have glyphs. Okay, now in order to get your glyphs, you are going to click on it and go over to the same textile panel that you opened to get the text, and you're going to see this G right where I'm hovering right here. You're going to click on it. Now what this G is the glyphs, right? And it's going to show you all the different glyphs that comes with this font right here. Now they start out with the regular ones with the uppercase, and then the smaller ones, which is the lowercase, and then after that it will give you some other Latin letters, but then at the bottom you'll see the glyphs. Now for example, this one, if I want to change out the E, all you have to do, you're going to double click on the word love. You're going to see a green box around it. Okay, when you double click on that word love, all you have to do, go ahead, delete that E, and then you're going to go over to the textile panel and you're going to double click on that, or click once, and you're going to see that E, you have that E, and it's going to be the same size as the font, as the previous E. All right. So this is, so now you've taken a simple rhinestone template and you've made it into something a little bit more cuter. All right. So they do have other letters with the same E going upwards, but then they have other ones with the L. So for example, if I didn't want that L, let me just click in between that and show you what that looks like. So this L, if you want that option, instead of uppercase, you could do a lowercase L. It just depends on what you want. I'm going to keep mine as a uppercase L for now. And what I should have done was I should have duplicated so that I don't have to type the word all over again. So this looks good. So what we're going to do, we're going to look at how this looks when you actually add stones to it. So I still need this panel right here. So I'm going to go over here to my rhinestone panel, and I'm just going to drag it off to the side. I'm going to also put some color because I know persons are saying they cannot see while I'm doing what I'm doing. Okay, so I added some color. So I go up to where you see my color palette here, and I added the color, and then I'm gonna take that red line off. Now this is the first one. Now this looks good. This is a pretty font. All right, this is a font that I could use in my own rhinestone designs. So this one, I could put an edge. If you put an edge, this is what it's gonna look like. Now, you need to know that for script font, you have to weld, because the reason why you should weld, if I should zoom up, I'm gonna zoom up right here. Do you notice there are a lot of overlapping stones where the V and the E, they connect, right? So in order to avoid that, I always just weld the font. So I'm going to take that color off, and I'm going to right click, and I'm going to go down to weld. You're going to see boxes around each of them. You're going to group them, or you're going to make them a compound path. So now let's see what happens when you put back the rhinestones. You're going to see that you do not have that problem anymore because the font is in one. Okay, so what you could do, you could also change the spacing. So I'm going to go to my rhinestone panel right here. You see spacing. You're going to click on it, and I always use a 0.015 spacing, and you click on it. You see that the love is more defined. This is not just only for a outline. It can also be done with a fill. So let me show you what a fill would look like. See that? So I could use it as a fill. So I'm going to go ahead, I'm going to put a radial fill, and that looks good. all you need to do is just to go in. If you want something simple, you could just go in and move the stones around and you'll have a beautiful template. Now let me show you what it will look like if you put an outline on this. So this is not me showing you how to design. I'm just showing you that glyphs can make your design pop even more. So I'm going to click on that. I'm going to take it off for a little bit, and then I'm going to open my offset panel, and I'm going to add an internal offset of a 0.0125. I'm going to press enter. Going to look like nothing happened, but I'm going to go up to objects. I'm going to group it, and I'm going to make it a compound path, and I'm going to put some color on that, something brighter for you to see maybe. Okay, and then I'm going to take the line off. Now what I'm going to do, I'm going to show you how beautiful this looks even with just two colors. So I'm going to click on the edge for the outline, then I'm going to click on the yellow and make it a radial fill. Now that looks good. See that? Now something simple, nice, turns out to be really beautiful. All right, so I'm gonna group that together and let's do one more. Let's do Sweetie Almira's script, because Sweetie Almira's script is also one that you could use. Maybe you don't have to use it for something that is rhinestone heavy like an internal offset or anything like that. But let's see how that one looks. So let me put back my regular E. So now we're working with family script. This is the one that we just did. Now, let me duplicate this because I might just need it. Let me put some color. Okay. All right, so let's do Sweetie Almira's script. I'm not going to go through all the fonts that I have on my computer. I've made several videos on how to choose rhinestone fonts. So you could check out some of those videos if you are unsure of what you need to do, what type of rhinestone fonts that you need. So let me zoom up, and I'm going to put some color because I don't want it to be confused. And I'm going to change this font to Sweetie Almira script. Let's see if that is something that we could. Oh, this is Sweetie Almira's extra. All right, so we're going to do the script. Okay, that looks good. Simple. But let's see if we could just jazz this up a little bit. All right, let me do loved in order instead of love. Okay, so let's jazz this up and see if we could get something that's pretty. All right, so now I'm gonna go to glyphs. I'm gonna put back Sweetie Almira's script. Okay, and let's look at the options that we have. If we can swap out that L, that would be nice, even though that L is really pretty. You just have to look at the ones that you have. This L looks nicer. So see this one right here. So I'm going to remember double click on the word. It's gonna have a green box that comes up. You're gonna backspace and just add. I'm going to add this L. Now look at that. I like that much better than the first L that we had. Now let's find a D. Let's find a D that we like. I wouldn't want a D that, see this D right here? It's like, oops, let's go back. I think I put something. What am I supposed to do? All right, I wouldn't want the D that has the flurries going out. Why? Because this one has flurries going out already. So I'm gonna look for a D that it's better than that one, or it's curved upwards. Now this one would look good also. Let me click. See? Now this looks nice. What do you think about this one? That looks good. Let's see. Let's try see if there's another D that we could use. All right, let's try this one. Let me zoom out. All right, this one is fancy, but I wouldn't use that one. Why? Because it's going out and I don't want it to go out. I want it to kind of be proportional, so to speak, with the other one. There's another D here. Let's see. Let's click on that one. All right, let's zoom out. All right. If I did not put, so this D right here, if I did not put L that's going out on this one, I could have used this one right here. Right? Let's see something. Let me go back. Oops. Let me take out this D. And let me take out this D. Oops, not that one. All right, and let's see how this would look. It's not bad. It is not bad. What I could have done is I could have moved the L up a little bit more, manually move it. And then there are so many different options for letters here. And what they did was that if you look down at the bottom, it shows you recently used glyphs. That is also an option where you could say, okay, I chose this D and I didn't like it. I want the other one that I did. All right, but let me tell you what I will do with this template. So I'm going to copy it. I'm going to duplicate it. I'm going to move it to the side. And then I'm going to work on this one. The first thing I'm going to do is ungroup. I'm going to right click and ungroup. And what I'm going to do, I'm going to move this L up a little bit more. Okay. And I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to make it a compound path. I'm going to right click and make it a compound path. Oh, so you see what happens when I did not weld it first? When I made it a compound path, all those cut lines came in. So I'm going to undo that. That's a perfect example to show you why you have to weld your font first. So I'm going to right click and I'm going to weld first. After I weld, I'm going to make it a compound path. Now this is what we have. Now this is a huge design. This is about 15 inches. And that's another thing you need to consider, because sometimes these letters, they don't look well in rhinestone. So what I would do for something like this, I would just simply make it into a outline. I would not even think about making it into a radial fill because it just would not show up really well. All right, it did. This is what it looks like with a radial fill, but I like the outline better. See that? See? So this is something that you could add to a garment, to a blouse that is just simple, that is just nice, and you could just maybe add some, hearts to it, something else to kind of give it some definition. But this is a beginner project that would look nice, and this is a good size. This can fit a large shirt really well. All right, guys, I do not want to make this video a very long because I just wanted to come on to show you that you could spice up your designs with glyphs. All you have to do, go to your character map, UWP, look at the options that you have. Glyphs usually come in when you have script fonts. You do have some other fonts that really give you glyphs that are not really script, but they're like bold script. You just need to look at the ones that you have and you go ahead and make the designs with that. and I hope that you will make wonderful designs. If you find this video helpful in any way possible, let me know in the comment section, and do not forget to subscribe to my channel. It helps me out a lot. Do not forget to give me a thumbs up. It tells the algorithm that something good is happening over here, and they need to push the video for others to see. So thank you so much for your support. Thank you so much for watching today, and I'll see you in my next one. Bye.